Is Epcot kid-friendly? While it is a great park for adults, this is Disney World after all. Of course, there are rides and activities for kids too. In fact, Epcot is the second most kid-friendly park at Walt Disney World after Magic Kingdom. In this guide, I'll share my top rides and activities for kids at Epcot. It's coming up right now. One of the things that makes Walt Disney World great is that most rides and attractions are designed to have either no minimum height requirement or one that's around 40 inches. So this is right in the zone for many 4 and 5-year-olds. Let's start with Spaceship Earth, located right in the front of the park. This is the icon of Epcot, and yes, you can actually go inside the giant ball. Spaceship Earth is among the last of the opening day attractions at Epcot, and that means it has stood the test of time at this park. It's a slow-moving dark ride that takes you on a journey through time, starting with the dawn of man and going well into the future. Along the way, you'll pass through vivid vignettes of important moments in human communication with animatronics, beautiful music, and a kid-friendly narration.
In 1450, Gutenberg invents the movable type printing press. Now knowledge can travel as fast as these new books, and travel they do. Books make... By now, we're all communicating from anywhere on Earth, and in 1969, from somewhere else.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
In California, young people with a passion for shaping the future put the power of the computer in everyone's hands. Together we form a super network that glows with billions of interactions. And once again, we stand on the brink of a new renaissance.
Next, let's head over to the seas with Nemo and friends. In this attraction, you'll go under the sea without getting wet in a slow-moving clammobile. You'll immediately enter Nemo's underwater world with brightly colored coral reefs and a few familiar friends. Now, of course, Nemo gets lost pretty early on, so you'll set out on a journey to find him, passing through jellyfish, a shark-infested shipwreck, and you'll meet up with Crush, the infamous sea turtle, somewhere in the East Australian current. There's no minimum height requirement for the seas with Nemo and friends. Now, I don't mean to spoil the ride for you, but after you locate Nemo and your journey comes to an end, you can get up close with some sea rays, turtles, and manatees in one of the largest saltwater aquariums in the country, a massive 5.7 million gallon multi-level underwater habitat known as Sea Base. The Seas with Nemo and Friends Pavilion is a walk-through aquarium where you can observe over 2,000 animals, including sharks. You can easily spend a couple of hours in this exhibit. Oh, and here's a secret. Ask for the complimentary scavenger hunt at the gift shop located near the exit. Turtle Talk with Crush is a 15-minute interactive show unlike any other you've seen. He's animated, yes, but he interacts live with the audience using improvisational humor. Kids and adults will find him to be hilarious. And Crush takes questions from the audience using his hydrophone, so encourage your little one to ask him about his favorite food or his favorite activity. He will also introduce you to a few of his pals like Dory and Squirt. The show runs every 15 minutes, so feel free to explore the aquarium for a bit, but you should be in line for the next show about 10 minutes prior so you can get a good spot.
With an extra set of ears, rocking some goggles. Dude, what's your name? Hey, dude, what's your question?
Well, is your shell heavy?
Oh, no, dude, it's like part of me, dude, so I don't notice the weight, dude. Plus, everything is lighter when I'm underwater, dude. The shell is awesome. It's like having a built-in surfboard right here on my back. Helps me show off all my sweet surfing moves when I hit the EAC. Good question, dude. Who else has got...
And after exiting the Seas Pavilion, head next door to the Land Pavilion. Now, just like the Seas Pavilion, there are a number of attractions inside, including the Garden Grill character restaurant, and I do recommend that you make reservations for that one. Living with the Land boat ride will take you on a cruise through Disney World's innovative greenhouses where you can see some pretty neat farming techniques like plants growing without soil and a record-breaking tomato tree. Yes, I said tree, that produces over 30,000 tomatoes a year. There's no minimum height requirement for Living with the Land, and the wait is usually less than 20 minutes.
Welcome to our living laboratory, where scientists from Epcot and the U.S. Department of Agriculture are exploring innovative ways to produce bountiful harvests now and into the future. Nature has created a very different, but no less beautiful living system. And while this arid landscape may seem lifeless, it is very much alive. The plants and animals that have learned to survive in these harsh conditions make use of what little water they can find and avoid the scorching rays of the relentless sun.
Also inside the Land Pavilion, you'll find Soarin. This is one of the most popular attractions at Walt Disney World because it's technically one of the big rides, but most people can do it, the young and the young at heart. This gentle ride simulates flight as if you were in a hang glider, flying over some of the world's most recognizable landmarks like the Great Wall of China, the Great Pyramids of Egypt, and the Eiffel Tower. The 80-foot IMAX digital projection screen creates a soothing sensation of flight combined with an uplifting musical score. There's nothing too wild or crazy that happens on this ride. It's more about being graceful and beautiful imagery more than big thrills. Soarin' has a minimum height requirement, though, of 40 inches. After the Land Pavilion, you'll come to the Imagination Pavilion, home to the kid-friendly dark ride Journey into Imagination with Figment. Here you'll board a slow-moving ride vehicle and take a tour of the Imagination Institute, hosted by Figment, a little purple dragon, and his companion, Dr. Nigel Channing. Figment gets a little too enthusiastic, so of course the tour ends up becoming more of a detour. Along the way, you'll learn about the 5 senses as Figment turns the lab upside down and causes quite a stink in the smell lab. After the Journey into Imagination ride, there are a number of interactive exhibits designed just for little ones in the exit area.
By using the eye chart to test your vision. Now, all together, if you would please read line 3.
With FIGMENT, you can see things differently. Anything can happen. Imagination really clowns around. Makes downside up and upside down. Imagination, imagination. A dream can be a dream come true. With just that part from me and you.
Also in the Imagination Pavilion, you'll find the Disney Pixar Film Festival in 4D. Here you'll don 3D glasses and watch 3 cartoon shorts taking about 18 minutes in all. The floor of the theater reacts to key moments in the films by gently moving up and down. That's what makes it 4D. These films are both heartwarming and funny for all ages. There's usually no line at all to get in, but I recommend being at the theater at least 10 minutes prior to the next show. Oh, and it's a great place to rest and enjoy some air conditioning or dodge a passing thunderstorm. Now we'll head over to Test Track. Test Track is located on the opposite side of the park. It's the fastest ride in Walt Disney World. This one has a minimum height requirement of 40 inches. Inside, you'll have a chance to design your own vehicle in the design studio and then test your digital design in real-life conditions. Then you'll buckle up in a 6-passenger sim car and head out on a futuristic test track to see how your design holds up to a different set of conditions like weather, speed, and maneuvering around objects. The road test culminates with a high-speed run around the building's exterior.
Capability test results displayed and verified.
Now let's see how your vehicles compare when it comes to their efficiency.
Imaging in progress. Calculating total enviro impact.
The wait can be long for Test Track, but there are a number of interactive elements in the queue to keep kids engaged. And after you're done with Test Track, we'll head over to Mission Space. Mission Space is its own pavilion. This motion simulator takes you through a realistic rocket launch into space. Each member of your crew will assume an important role to fly the rocket. During your flight, you will be instructed to initiate a sequence, which in real life means pushing a few buttons when you're told to do so. But don't worry, if you don't push the buttons, the ride still continues as planned, but don't tell the kids that. Now, an important thing to remember with Mission Space is that there are two teams. There's the orange team and the green team. The orange team is an intense experience with a significant spinning to create the feeling of G-forces during the launch. The minimum height for the orange team is 44 inches. Personally, I don't recommend it. I think it's much too intense. Let's just say Disney keeps a bunch of trash cans near the exit for those that didn't have what it takes. No thank you on that. Fortunately, the green team is basically the same ride, but with light movement and no spinning. So you can enjoy the story of flying into space in a very realistic setting without the need for the trash cans. Green team has a minimum height requirement of 40 inches, and it's very popular with kids. All right, next we'll head out to World Showcase, the second part of Epcot. One of the first countries you'll come to if you're going clockwise is Mexico. Go inside. There's a super kid-friendly boat ride in there, and for some reason, not many people know it's even there. It's tucked away in the back corner. The Gran Fiesta tour starring the three Caballeros takes you on a cruise down the Rio Grande on a musical boat ride through some of the most famous sights and cities in Mexico. Now, on the boat ride, we somehow lose Donald Duck, and it's our goal to set out on a mission to find him. Didn't Nemo get lost, too, back in the Seas Pavilion? Seems to be a trend. But anyway, there's no minimum height requirement for the Gran Fiesta tour, and it's especially great for the little ones.
Welcome, amigos. I am Panchito. I am Jose Acoca. And this is... I don't know. We must work. The contract is tonight. This way.
Now, continuing clockwise around World Showcase, you'll come to the Norway Pavilion, home to one of the most popular attractions in the park, Frozen Ever After. This boat ride attraction is a musical montage through the scenes from the film Frozen with Anna and Elsa and a few of their fellow Frozen friends. The line for this ride can get ridiculously long. Often 80 minutes is considered short, so you'll want to ride it first thing in the morning before the crowds arrive for the day. There's no minimum height requirement for Frozen Ever After. And speaking of Anna and Elsa, fortunately, we didn't lose them on this ride. They can be found in Summer House for meet and greets in an authentic Norwegian setting. Now, throughout World Showcase and Epcot, there are a number of things kids can do and activities and just do some exploring. So we're going to fast forward, though, to the next ride, which is Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. This is another ultra-popular ride at Epcot, one that you should consider doing also early in the morning before the crowds arrive. On this dark ride attraction, you'll join Chef Remy on an adventure through his kitchen and then scurry along with him as he tries to escape from Chef Skinner. There is no height requirement for Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. And while you're in the France Pavilion, be sure to check out Beauty and the Beast Sing-Along. You'll settle in at a cozy French cinema for a 15-minute film featuring songs from the animated classic Beauty and the Beast, and you're able to sing along and sing as loud as you want during the performance. So you can definitely spend an entire day or two at Epcot, even with little ones, And I didn't even cover things like the Circle Vision films in China and Canada. And of course, the food, my God, the food. And check out the shops like the Mitsukoshi department store in the Japan Pavilion, one of my favorite things to do in all of Walt Disney World. And of course, the KidCot fun stops where the kids can be a little creative and interact with an international host. And don't forget the nighttime fireworks spectacular that happens every night around 9 p.m. And don't forget, there's also Epcot character meet and greets. You can meet Snow White in the Germany Pavilion, Anna and Elsa, of course, in the Norway Pavilion, and even Mickey, who greets visitors over at the Imagination Pavilion. So, is Epcot kid-friendly? You bet it is. Plan to stay at least one day in the park, maybe even two if you decide to take a midday break. My name is Darren from OrlandoParksguy.com. Every day I help people plan magical vacations to Walt Disney World, Universal Orlando, Disney Cruise Line, and Royal Caribbean. If you have any questions about this video, go ahead and use the comments section below, or even tell me what you'd like to see next. Click that notification button to get alerts when my next video airs, and until then, thanks for watching.